Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast, interviews unedited. On today's show, interviews from Amy Macdonald, Blessing Offor, Split Chain Zebrahead, and we throw back to Reading Festival 2021 to chat to Sam Tompkins. Now let's kick off and play you our first interview, shall we? And we had a chat with Amy Macdonald to talk about her new record and more. So Amy Macdonald, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not too bad. So we've been playing a new single of yours. Is this what you've been waiting for? Tell us a bit about the single, first of all. Actually, the single's called Can You Hear Me? So
Yeah,
tell me about that.
yeah. The previous single was "Is This What You've Been Waiting For?" Yeah, the new track's called "Can You Hear Me?" It's probably my favorite on the album. It's really different. It's quite disco-tastic. It's definitely a sing-along song, and it was just inspired by an amazing audience that I performed at in front of at a festival, and they just really kind of gave me a new lease of life, and I came up with this track.
Nice, nice. And that is off your new record, which is out 11th of July, which is called Is This What You've Been Waiting For? What can we expect to hear on the record?
It's an album about life, about ups and downs, highs and lows, and everything that goes on in between. I try and write songs about very normal things, things that most people can relate to. I absolutely love the album. I'm really, really proud of it and excited to get it out there and hope that people love it as much as I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is 6 records in now. How have you and how has the music evolved over the years?
I think I've grown into my voice over that time. I feel way more confident with my voice than I ever did at the beginning. And I think that just allows me to kind of write more interesting songs that have got a lot of depth to them. I never really try and sound a particular way. I've got such an eclectic musical taste myself that I get inspiration from so many different places. So like the song like Can You Hear Me has got like a blondie kind of disco vibe to it, and then there's tracks on there that are more acoustic, sound a bit more folky, and there's kind of everything in between.
Yeah, nice, nice. And the sound that you made with this record, was it the sound you wanted, or was it kind of how it turned out in the studio?
I never go in there with a particular plan, really. I've got demo versions of everything, so there's a rough idea, but sometimes you can go in a completely different direction. I like it to just be like a kind of natural thing. It's hard to explain. Sometimes you don't really know how something should sound, but you know how it shouldn't sound, and there's definitely a bit of trial and error sometimes with some of the tracks.
Yeah, I can well imagine. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them again down the line, or is it a case of being in the muff and starting again?
So I'm actually not the most prolific writer. Usually for an album, I have just enough songs to make an album. But this time was the first time where it was different because I took a bit more time to write. I ended up with about 25 songs, I think, and it's hard to work out what gets culled. I don't think I would really go back to songs. I think that they're of that moment, and if they kind of don't fit that album, then I think that it's better to just kind of move on and come up with some other stuff down the line. I mean, you never know. I might do a Bruce Springsteen at one point and just put together a massive album of all the ones that didn't make the cut.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure that might well be possible with many artists like yourself. And so when it comes to the writing side of things, how do tracks normally start off for you?
It varies massively. So if it's just me writing on my own, it's just guitar, and I kind of circle around a few chord shapes and see what melodies come into my head, and it's a very very simple thing, just guitar, voice, and a notepad. If I'm working with my bandmates, which I do, quite a few different times now. With some of them, we kind of do a similar thing and build it from there. But some of my bandmates love to just produce these amazing kind of demos and ask me to put lyrics and melody to it. So that can happen sometimes as well. So I work in many different ways. I'm always easygoing and happy to try a different style of working, whoever it is I'm with.
Yeah, nice. And is it quite straightforward for you to create the lyrics and the melody when you're given the music to put your bit to? Is it straightforward or can it be a challenge at times?
It's quite straightforward. It's actually something I really like doing. I love just being presented with an idea and being asked to add my bit to it. So I do like doing that side of it, but it is also nice to start from scratch just on your own with the guitar. Like it's good that I'm able to do both.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And people will want to see you playing some tracks live, and you've already done Isle of Wight Festival. How was that?
The Isle of Wight Festival was great. Yeah, it's a lovely place to visit, and just great big stage and really great energetic crowd. So it was really good to get down there and perform out in the sunshine.
Nice, yeah, nice. And you've got loads of touring now coming up. You're kicking things off towards the end of this month and into August across Europe, and then November, December, you're here in the UK. Are you ready for the touring to begin again?
Not quite. I think we need a few more days rehearsal to nail that very long set. It's all been like summer festivals so far, so you
Mm.
only ever really need to play for 45 minutes. So I'll need to get in and work out what the set list will be for the tour. But we've got plenty of time to do that. So I'm really excited. It's quite difficult when you've got six
Mm.
albums choosing what should get on the set list, and there's always going to be somebody that's disappointed because you miss out their favourite. But I'll try and include everything that I can.
And obviously, it's mainly to promote this new album. So is it going to be predominantly the new tracks, or is it going to be a bit of a mix mash of all your records?
Yeah, no, it'll be a good mixture. I don't think people really like to hear all new things all the time. I think that they like to hear what they know. So it'll be a perfectly curated set list of something from all six albums.
Good, good. And what's 2026 going to hold for you? Because I know you've got some European dates already booked in for February, but what else have you got planned?
Yeah, so I've got a European tour all through February through to March, and then I probably have a whole run of summer festivals again to take me through to September. So my life is kind of mapped out for the next year, and then after that we'll probably start writing some songs again and start the process all over
Mm.
again.
Yeah, nice. Are you hoping to go further afield as well, over to the States and elsewhere?
It's not somewhere I've ever really went. I've done like one trip. I've played like maybe two shows in New York. It takes a lot of kind of travel and time
Mm.
to kind of break the American market. And I think it's a great place to visit. But I've been so lucky that I've had such amazing support in Europe, and I never wanted to take that for granted. So I always make sure that I travel to the places where I know I've got such great supportive fans, first and foremost. And maybe in the future, if I had extra time, I could travel further afield.
Yeah, nice. Is there anywhere that you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point, maybe?
I mean, there's loads of places like I've that I would love to go and perform in, but I am also not the most ambitious person in the world.
Hmm.
I think that the kind of balance of still having a normal life or spending your entire kind of life on the road, I think there's a
Mm.
happy middle ground, and I feel like I'm quite comfortable in that right now.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Amy Macdonald. Now, we are all over social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials. And you can also check out the website at thesoundlabuk.co.uk. Now, while you go and find us and follow us on all the socials, we're going to play you our next interview from Blessing Offor. Had a chat with him to talk about new music, and this is what he had to say. So, Blessing Offor, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm in Youngstown, Ohio. I'm at a little coffee shop and just on the road. Happy to be here.
Yeah, nice, excellent. And we've been playing a single of yours called Lift Me Up. Tell us a
Yes,
bit about the
sir.
single, first of all.
Man, I love that song. I This music thing's been going on for a few years now, and I remember I was in Santa Monica. We were about to actually Santa Barbara. We were about to play a show, and I was tired. I'd been on the road for like a bunch of months straight, And I was in the studio and I was like, guys, I want to write something worth writing. And they're like, well, what are you feeling? And I'm like, exhausted. And the first line of the song was, sometimes I feel like I just keep pretending and I'm slowly going out of my mind. And I think it was just a sentence I said. And they said, well, we gotta start there. And so it very much is stream of consciousness. And I love it because it felt really honest, you know?
Good. Yeah, absolutely. And that's coming off a new record of
Yes.
yours. What can we expect from the record?
Man, I've never been prouder of a body of work. It's called Real, and it is real. It feels real. It feels really honest. I'm not a super emotional guy just naturally, but it happens in music, and I'm really happy about that. So we were able to put all that into 16 songs. Yeah, when I listen to it, I get emotional. So I think it's ready for human consumption.
Absolutely. The sound that you made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out?
It is, honestly, it's the perfect sound we wanted. I made it with a guy who lives in London right now named Henrik Mikkelsen. He's a really, really wonderful producer, and he kind of executive produced. And it was a lot of, like, first we wanted to get the songs right, and then we wanted this earthy, folky pop thing. You know what I mean? So we were going for hybrid sounds, and I think we nailed it. Honestly, it happened really well.
Good. Yeah, that's great to hear. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Do you consider them down the line, or do you bin them off instead?
Man, I never bin anything. There's a massive Dropbox, no exaggeration, probably almost 1,000 songs. There are 16 songs on this record, and I think we wrote 200 songs for it. Sometimes I'll get a call, artists need something, and I'll say, hey, listen to this. Sometimes I use it further down the road. Who knows? But I keep them.
Nice. How do you narrow them down from that 200, as you say, down to the 16?
I have a really wonderful A&R, and the team is very strong and opinionated. So 1, 2, 3, about 4 of us get in a room and fight. And someone goes, I love this song. And I'm like, well, I win. Boom. This one goes on.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Let's talk about the writing side of things as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Man, I have on my phone at any given moment, I have a text group with myself. And when I'm on an airplane, I'm always texting lyrics. And so anytime I'm in a session, if there's not an idea in the room, I just pull up my, pool of ideas and I just grab something. And so there's always something that needs writing. Or I'll sit at a piano, the producer will sit at a guitar, and we'll just kind of vibe. You know what I mean? So however it happens is how it happens. But the goal is always to write something as genuine and compelling as possible, just with a voice and an instrument, and then go from there.
Is it easy to kind of merge everything together, like a melody and the lyrics? And is it quite easy to merge together, or is it a bit of a challenge at times?
It's interesting. I think people have different mindsets. Like when you're in LA, they'll say, let's write the melody and write words on it. And that's fine. That's a great start. I always tend to write melody and lyrics at the same time. I always think the words sing the melody like it needs to be. You know what I mean? So I'm a big believer in letting the lyrics dictate the melody and vice versa.
And what about the layering up process? Once you've got the lyrics and melody, is it then quite straightforward to kind of layer it all up with the instruments and everything?
With the chords? Yeah, production. I love production. When I have the melody and the lyric, I'm usually at an instrument, so the chords are there. And then the rest is just like, what outfit do you want to put on the song? You know what I mean? So like, there's a song on the record called Real, and I literally said to my producer, I want it to feel like Bon Iver. I want it to feel like soulful Bon Iver, right? And we know what that means. So the production part is almost the easiest part once the song is there, because you can dress it however you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And people get to see you playing some tracks live because you got some shows in August across the States. I bet you can't wait to be on the road again.
Dude, I love being on the road. Seriously, I'm going out with Robert Randolph, who, if you guys don't know who that guy is, he is a world-class musician, plays great steel. slide guitar, just great writer, great singer. I'm opening for him a bunch, and then hopefully get out to the UK sooner rather than later.
Yeah, is that the plan? Are you hoping to come over here, Europe, and elsewhere?
I love it. I was there all of January. I wrote a bunch of the songs out there, actually. So I'm a big fan. My brother lives in Glasgow, believe it or not.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Good place. I hear. I've never been, but yeah, nice place.
I love it.
Is there anywhere you've not been to yet that you want to get to at some point?
Everywhere. The rest of Europe, South America, Argentina, Middle East, everywhere. Literally everywhere.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Blessing Offor to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're listening to us here on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a fresh playlist coming your way. 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourself. And if you want to find that very playlist, either search Fresh by The Sound Lab or head to our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on our Fresh playlist button. Yes, so go and do that now while we play you our next interview from Split Chain, who we had a chat with at a Slam Dunk Festival not too long ago. So here we go. Split Chain, how are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, how are you doing?
Good. Yeah, you're here at Slam Dunk. Looking forward to the weekend ahead?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. First time I've been here, so first time playing as well. It's going to be, exciting. Hopefully the weather holds off.
yeah, hopefully. I'm sure it is going to. I've been watching it quite frequently. It shouldn't be raining, hence why I'm outside.
Yeah.
Now you've been busy on tour. How's the touring been?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been pretty relentless for nearly a year now. First time in the US in January with Silverstein and Thursday. It's really good. And we just come off another US headline tour for the first time there. Sick, really, really cool.
Yeah.
Just amazing to see fans from the other side of the world. Before that, did a headline in the UK run, which is really, really cool. And then currently we're out with A Day to Remember. So first show with them was yesterday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So cool. Those guys are amazing.
I can well imagine. Yeah, they are. And all this without even having your debut album out there, which is coming out in July.
Yes.
What can we expect to hear on the record?
So the record is pretty vast. I feel like it's a bit of a step up from what we've released so far. You can probably tell that with the singles we've released already. We're going to have a few more out before the drop of the album. The thing with the album, it's a much more collaborative than what we've written before, especially with like lyric writing and stuff. It's a lot darker in places, a lot more personal for each of the 5 members as well. Got some real heavy tracks somewhere in there as well. Some proper heavy moments, so looking forward to seeing what the reaction is, really.
Yeah, good. And the sound you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the album is a culmination of all of us together. It's exactly what each of us sound like put into a blender and put on record. And I think it sums us up perfectly.
Yeah, nice. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto this record. What happens to those now? Are you going to consider them further down the line, or do you think you'll bin them off and start again?
We'll see. There was a couple of demos that we had that were like ready in the studio. We'll see. We're going to be writing pretty consistently over the next few months. So we'll see if we keep them, scrap them. No idea.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
And I like to talk about the writing side of things. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
So, like I say, it's pretty collaborative. So it'll be one of us will start off with a riff, bring it to the table. We all have a say in it. So if one person doesn't really dig it or doesn't think it's good enough, then it's like no. But if we all love it, then we'll start working on it more. And the album itself a lot of it was done in studio. So we had ideas prior to studio, of course, but pre-pro in the first week, knuckled down and really finished those songs off. I think there was 2 or 3 that we actually wrote from scratch in that first week in the studio.
Nice.
And lyrics were still being written there as well. Like I said before, it's very collaborative. So all of us are there with our notepad and pen, scribbling down lyrics and trying to search from inside each of us.
Yeah.
And, put it down on paper, put it on record. So,
Nice. And when you go to record the finished track, do you layer it up, or is it one take?
Yeah. So it's all pretty layered. I think all the guitars. So we've done. Let's see. It would have been 4 like rhythm tracks. we didn't do any lead stuff until the end of the recording process, so we did 4 weeks there. So I pretty much wasn't doing anything for 3.5 weeks, and then it comes to the end, and I finally get to do my bit, and yeah, heavily layered, lots of effects and stuff. Had a lot of fun with it. But that's kind of our sound anyway. That's what we've always done. So,
yeah, good. And once the album's out in July, what's your plan from there? I'm sure you're going to be back on the road.
Oh yeah, touring's going to be non-stop. We're going to be back in the US in July with Midrift. So we announced that a few weeks back. That'll be West Coast and Texas. So Texas and then west from there. After that, we're doing Burn It Down and Trees. 2000 Trees will be the first show after the release. And then we're doing some bits in the fall, but I can't say what they are yet.
Good. And I'm sure there's places you've not got to yet and gone and played. Where do you want to get to at some point?
I mean, Japan, I know, is a big talking point in the band. We see a lot of like comments and stuff on the internet in Japanese, and it's all like, oh, it's really exciting when you see people from like a complete other end of the world talking about you. It's like, why? Like, in our minds, we're just 5 dudes from Bristol that are just like normal whoever, you know, and suddenly we got people talking about us in Japan, like crazy. And Japan, East Asia, Australia would be really cool. We had a few people mentioning Brazil and South America. All of that feels like a complete dream. So hopefully,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Split Chain from Slam Dunk Festival 2025. Now, if you're loving today's interviews, then you'll be pleased to hear we have these interviews on our international radio show, where you can listen to a bunch of music in a live session too, alongside these interviews. It's on our international radio show. It's for 2 hours, so if you wanted to check that out, head to our website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click International Radio Show. Now, while you do that, we're going to play you our final new interview of the show. It comes from Zebrahead, who we had a chat with at Slam Dunk Festival earlier this year. So, Zebrahead, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
Not too bad. You're back at Slam Dunk.
I feel like they are so kind to us because they invite us back, and I'm shocked that they do, actually. But we're very happy to be here.
You're here most years, I think.
Most years, yeah. Usually in those bushes over there.
Yeah. Are you making your way up the set list slowly, or you going backwards?
Very slowly. We flew in yesterday, and everybody's pretty cracked out. I fell asleep for 16 hours, so I feel fantastic.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
The rest of the guys are just trash right now. They look terrible.
I'm glad I got you then.
Yes, absolutely.
Once you finish here this weekend, what is the plan next?
So we are playing some of the Slam Dunk shows in Europe. So we fly over to Germany in a couple of days, and then we are playing the Slam Dunk shows, and then we have a bunch of other festivals until mid of the next month.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we go home, and then we come back to Europe, and then go home and come back to Europe. So we're in Europe for until the end of August.
Cool.
A lot of touring.
Nice and busy then. Nice and busy.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to? I'm hoping that you've been back in the studio and writing some
How did you know that?
Well, it's been a while. I thought it'd be about time.
Yeah, we've been writing quite a bit when we've been home. So when we go back home in like September-ish, we're planning on finishing the songs and getting into the studio and putting them down. So yeah, we're really excited for everybody to hear the new songs, and we've been working pretty hard. So,
yeah, nice. How's it sounding at the moment?
It is good, I think. I mean, who knows, right? Like in your head, it's one way, but until you record it in the studio and actually listen to it. But so far, I think it's going to be pretty rad.
Do you know what direction you're wanting to go in?
A good direction. We're hoping it's good. We've never like sat down and said, hey, we want to make a more of a metal album or more of a punk album, whatever. We just kind of, whatever we're inspired by, what we're listening to at the time usually, and then when we go into write, that kind of comes into the influence, and then it turns into something completely different by the time we're done. So yeah, nothing like specific where we're like, we want this specific direction. We just want to make sure the songs are good and we like them. So.
And it sounds like Zebrahead.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Nice. So, and when it comes to the writing side of things, how do the tracks normally start off for you guys?
It's different. Sometimes it's a guitar riff that somebody plays something and you're like, oh dude, we got to write around that. Other times it's like a vocal idea. that somebody's inspired by. It's different all the time. And the thing is, with us, all 5 of us write. So we don't have like one songwriter that comes in with a song that's done. It's always very collaborative.
Yeah.
So it just depends on who brings the idea in and what they're inspired by, and then the rest of us throw our stuff on there to kind of balance it out. And that's why, like you asked, it's going to sound like Zebrahead. It always ends up just because everybody throws stuff on top of it. So
Is it a good thing that all of you write, or is it a bit of a challenge where it's like too many cooks?
we've learned how to work with each other. But then at the same time, if we had like a Kurt Cobain, you know, who comes in and goes, man, plays a song, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
We would love that. You know, if somebody did that in our band, we would be fully supportive of it. But I think our process is, you know, more cooks in the kitchen is better for us.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess you all have your own strengths then as well.
Absolutely, yeah. For example, I can bench press 440. And I show everybody when we're writing. I have a little bench press set up. Usually I'm pantsless, and then I just do some, just to show that I'm alpha.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the rest of the guys can just kind of.
I've got the picture now.
Right?
So
Just,
yeah.
Yeah. Think about that. Whenever you listen to a Zebrahead song, think about that. Actually, don't think about that.
Love it.
It's not going to be helpful.
I might picture it when I'm not listening to Zebrahead as well.
Call me later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
No.
Okay. Yeah. When you go into the studio,
Yeah.
you obviously got your demos sorted.
Yeah.
How do you then take it from demo to finished track?
So we call it demo until we've actually recorded it in the studio with our producer.
Yeah.
So, and oftentimes that's the finished product. So I guess for us it's always a demo because we change stuff like right before mix. Even we'll go in and say, hey, this line could be better, or this guitar part could be better. So for us, it's a demo all the way until it's recorded and mixed, and then it's like the song. So I guess to the point of mixing, we're always like changing, tweaking stuff.
And you guys ones for layering it up when you're in the studio, or do you like to have the full kind of live experience when you record?
We have, like maybe past 6 or 7 years, we have been doing everything to the point where we know pretty much what it's going to be when we go record. So we don't really add a tremendous number of things when we are actually recording, except maybe like if we're like, oh, this part could have strings or something, our producer will play them, or we're like, hey, this song could be awesome with horns, and then we'll call some friends who play horns to come in and track it. But other than that, like we try to layer everything to the best we can, so we kind of know what it sounds like before we go and record it.
Saves you money that way as well.
Absolutely. It's more efficient, and also you kind of know what you're getting with the song, and you're not hoping, oh, it'll get better when we go and actually record it, because most of the time that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And you're stuck with a song that's kind of there, you know? So we try to have it finished, and go in and put it down. That's kind of how we work.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Zebrahead from Slam Dunk Festival 2025. And this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time, and we're going to do that back to Reading Festival 2021, where we had a little chat with Sam Tompkins. So, Sam Tompkins, how are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Reading Festival.
Yes, we are.
How's your weekend been?
Absolutely unreal, man. Like I literally can't. Sorry. Being great, man. Like, I thought, because I'm playing earlier in the day, I thought there wouldn't be people turning up. I was like scared, man. Packed out tents both days. Leeds and Reading. It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
Sick.
What's it like being back on a stage?
It's crazy, and also like it's been 18 months since I did it. The last time I was on stage.
Yeah.
And like the one and only festival I've ever been to in my life is Reading, when I was 17 years old, and I was over there, and like being here, and I remember watching Little Sims like back in 2014 and speaking to her afterwards and going like, I'm going to be up here, like, and now I'm here. It's like it's an absolute, it's just mad. It's just crazy.
Have you seen Little Sims since?
Yeah, I have a couple times, but she's amazing. She's great, and she's one of my favourites. But yeah, like literally, I just can't believe it, man. I can't believe it.
Well, the reason you're doing these and shows to come, which we'll talk about in a minute, you've got a new single out called Hole.
Yeah, man.
What can you tell us about the single?
Yeah, so Hole came out a couple weeks ago now, and it's just gone so crazy. It's hit 1 million streams in under a month, which for an artist like me is, well, especially me, it just feels unheard of. And yeah, man, I'm so gassed that People have taken it in. Like, it's about, for me, like, I pride myself on making like music that's sort of like accessible for everyone, but like really where it comes from a really special place.
Yeah.
And like that song's all about togetherness, and like to be able to play it first time at a festival where there's loads of people, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I literally. Yeah, I'm so gassed by it all. Like, I cannot believe this has actually happened to me. It's crazy.
Excellent. And gearing up to EP number 3 as well.
Yeah, bro.
How's this one going to compare and sound compared to your previous two?
I mean, this one's the most. It's big. Like, it feels like it could even be an album, but it's not. You know, it's, what is it? 7 tracks long. 7 tracks long, which is like a mini album almost. It's almost not an EP. It's like a mini album. It's so special to me. And it's got such a narrative that I think people are really going to resonate with, especially after everything we've been through the last 18 months.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you spent your time wisely and written, or have you kind of stopped what you were doing and spent time for yourself?
Do you know what? Like, what I did realise, I think a lot of people realise it was a good time for reflection. And I think most of all, like, the biggest thing I reflected on is like my creativity as a whole, and like, you know. How I can't force things, you know, like sometimes I can't write, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And I can go months without writing, but when I do find that creative spark, I'm on it. I'm like constantly just doing it. And I think that was like the best thing that came out of lockdown, was that sort of realization of who I am as a creative person. And I just can't believe like people are back in a place now, like where we can all be together and be as one. It's crazy, man.
It's my first festival back, so
mad.
I'm so glad it's back together, and fingers crossed we're good.
Yeah, 100%.
And you'll need it to be good as well, all COVID safe, because you're out on tour.
Yeah, man.
Where can people see you kind of for the rest of the year?
Yeah, so for the rest of the year, I'm hitting Brighton, London, Birmingham, Leeds, Nottingham, Manchester, Glasgow, Dublin, Bournemouth, and then we're doing Paris, Berlin, Cologne, and Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And like, just the thought of that, after all this time, the thought of that like gives me hope, you know, like, and that's what people need right now. It's like everyone needs that little spark of something that's gonna keep them going. And like for me, that's what it's been the whole way through. I was like, when this shit's over, I know I'm gonna be able to go out and do a tour. And
definitely.
We've sold it out now. It's gonna be sick, man. I can't wait.
Definitely. And looking to next year now, what are you hoping 2022 is going to be for you?
2022, man, it's just elevation, man. It's just all about like lifting myself to the next level. And I think like the next level for me is bigger shows, bigger songs, you know, a bigger project. And like also, apart from anything else, like next year, all I want to do is learn. And like I want to feel alive, man. I want to feel alive. Yeah.
Excellent.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Sam Tompkins from Reading Festival 2021. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't worry, we will be back next week with a double episode, because it is a 2000 Trees Festival special. So you get a double whammy of our podcast next week. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Sound Lab, yes, on all the socials, and check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back same time next week for another episode of Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.